The reason why we moved to America is because we were getting bankrupt. My dad was gonna lose his job, and my mom was a figure skating teacher. They would borrow money from my grandparents who didn't have like a lot at all. So when we moved here, we got to build ourselves back up, and we're getting there.
Both sides of my parents actually came from really lower classes, very dirt poor. They kind of entrepreneured themselves up economically, and right where we are today, it's an entrepreneurial legacy.
My parents, they struggle a lot. Even though they were able to establish themselves well, we're definitely in like a lower middle class. My parents couldn't go to college, so I will be the first generation to go. And my grandparents never went to college either. So a lot of it rests on me economically, which is really scary.
We don't have much, but we did acquire a house when we moved down here, and it's been in our family for 5 or 6 generations.
Rags not to riches, but to more like stability. We used to play, instead of with soccer balls, we used to play with oranges, but now we have a nice home, our house is paid off, and I think they worked really hard to get there.
We are all entrepreneurs, and my great-grandfather, he owned a small corner store. That was a grocery store. And then my great-aunt, she owned a plumbing industry.
My mom's side of the family, they started with nothing, over in St. Augustine, and they also built themselves up into living in Jacksonville and creating new lives for their children, and my family is very lucky for what we have today.
My dad's great-great-grandfather was C.W. Zaring, and they were here in Jacksonville, and they had a huge grocery plant line thing where they just had a lot of shipping containers, and they were a huge thing there.
Going back a few generations, my grandparents were living under communist China during the Cultural Revolution, and so they were very poor, and we were in the lower class, starving and dealing with oppression during that time. But they migrated to Hong Kong to seek a better life, and there they raised my parents, who then came over to America. And we've been moving up economically and have finally achieved economic stability and the ability to pursue the American dream.